Before, when every battle was fought with one's own spiritual energy, that's a way to greatly improve the battlefield. Nowadays this place is already able to provide only energy for me. As for the rest, it is rather no longer the most important. Chu Feng felt something inside his body. Unable to help himself, he muttered. Now that he had broken through, his physique had begun to deform. But that's just the beginning. To transform the whole body off into a true physique, you still need to draw in enough energy. Luckily there's enough energy here. No need for him to worry at all. At that moment, Chu Feng no longer paid attention to the people in the surroundings and began to comprehend the little 5 elements void sword while doing so, while rapidly drawing in energy to help the body's physique begin to shed. This person's strength has broken through again. It seems that we are completely incapable of resisting. What will we say then? What else can I do? Go back and beat up the people who gathered the information, of course, and dump the pot on them. After all, who knew that this guy's strength was so terrifying, that he had reached the strength of the heaven realm, and also mastered the terrifying sword technique aptitude. With such strength, they let it be just a spirit realm's cultivation. It's not called dumping. It should say they're not gathering information correctly. At that moment, the guys gathered the information around them as well and prepared the corresponding statements. That way, if we go back, we can explain what happened here. Alright, now that the complete remodeling is finished, wait until it's time to go out. After there had been half a day, Chu Feng muttered to. The auras inside his body had now turned into hybrid auras. After the physique was also transformed, the strength of the body even became comparable to that of a 7th-order divine soldier. But this is just the most basic of changes. What was more advanced was the change in his strength was that after these changes, his combined strength was now as much as 8 times that of the early stage of the heaven realm, completely able to fight against the middle stage without losing, and with the sword formation in his hands as well as the strength of his divine thoughts, totally have the strength to decapitate the other party. But these need to be fought to be known. After you guys go out, you are my captives. If you want to go back, let your family prepare the ransom. As for those who don't have the ransom, then give me as a fighter. When will you pay back the ransom? When can you leave? Chu Feng said coldly. Yes, these people were only able to oblige when the situation was weaker than the others. Not letting Chu Feng and the others wait for long, the blocked secret realm gate opened. Looking at Chu Feng, he brought a large group of people out. And all of those people had a look of incomparable shame on their faces. Outside for a moment there was consternation. Rushing up, he inquired, "What's going on with you guys?" None of these people had the good sense to open their mouths when they heard this. Chu Feng, who was on one side, spoke at that moment. "They tried to make a move on me. I caught them all. Want to take them back. The first thing will be the ransom out before." What? Hearing this, the many leaders were stunned. For taking a shot at Chu Feng, they were all aware of it. As for something like being captured by Chu Feng, they could not have imagined it. There's nothing to say. Hurry up. Chu Feng was not giving them any face at all. You. The other leaders in the surrounding area heard that and came forward, ready to intimidate Chu Feng. At that moment, Chao Qian came straight up and said, "How dare you engage in petty maneuvers? Are you not putting our demon emperor in your eyes? I will report to the demon emperor about what you guys are doing." After saying that, she directly protected Chu Feng in front of herself. Didn't give these guys a chance to bully. How dare we? You little brats. How dare you hit your highness? Humph. Go back and see if I don't teach you guys a lesson. These one clan elder existences walked back to their original places when they heard the demon emperor's name. Laughing awkwardly, he was only able to go back to angrily scolding his own family. It's amazing how these guys don't do things right and get caught in the crossfire. One can only admit one's bad luck. Tell us, your highness, how can we bring them back? A heaven realm demon cultivator came forward and inquired. 1 spirit marrow, 10,000 top-grade spirit stones, or 10 spirit crystals. Chu Feng opened his mouth and said. This answer he considered before saying. Spirit crystals were used for cultivation by cultivators of the mortalization realm and true king realm, as well as those at the higher levels. For this thing to be of value, relatively speaking, spirit crystals were worth more. Spiritual marrow is much more scarce. This stuff is totally dependent on demand. Hearing this price, these guys have a hard face up. 10 spirit crystals were completely capable of cultivating 3 mortal realm cultivators into a new Xian realm cultivator. You must realize that there are not many geniuses, Chu Feng said with a cold smile. Okay. At that moment these people came up with ransom money. Don't dare say anything more. Where is Nangong Ming? When Chu Feng collected everyone's ransom, the elder of the Nangong family came over and asked. Chu Feng glanced at the man in front of him, a middle-aged man with a prominent frontal bone, 2 concave cheeks, and a thin body. Ratty-looking middle-aged man. The man is a total thieving spokesman. However, even though this person's face was ugly, Xu Feng was not one to judge people by their appearance and said with a normal face, "That guy is the mastermind of this incident, going to assassinate me 3 times. I'm not without a temper, so I'll just behead him. Do you have a problem with that?" After saying that, Xu Feng and Xiao Qian both looked straight at him, and the spiritual energy in their hands worked. Once the other side has a teenage girl out of line, Xu Feng would not say anything more to him and would directly take the other party down before saying anything. When the others in the surroundings saw Xu Feng do this, a teasing look also appeared in their eyes. The Nangong family's elder's face changed for a while, his palms clenched tightly. End of chapter. Chapter 149 Sword Fool. Chapter 149 Sword Fool. What's wrong? You want to make a move? Xu Feng's face instantly turned cold when he saw his appearance. Elder, originally we didn't intend to make a move against His Highness, but it was only after Nangong Ming's rumors and urging that we made a move against him. Yeah, this old man of the family tricked us into making a move. Why don't we let them compensate us for our losses? This guy is just lying to us. Otherwise we wouldn't be in this situation. At that moment, some people thought that when they were inside, it was all Nangong Ming who was lying to them and fooling them into making a move. At this moment, seeing that Nangong Chen had suffered a loss, he immediately stood out and made excuses for himself up. And of course this one is true. When these words were to be spoken, these surrounding family elders immediately looked unkind. It was important to realize that they, the old guys, didn't have many resources within the family, and it's not a being of any stature. Otherwise it wouldn't be doubly arranged to do something like this. The monthly remuneration alone was only 10 spirit crystals. Now times someone else has lost face and is compensated for something. If he went back, not to mention getting back the spirit crystals, it would be difficult to not be punished. At this time, when he learned that someone was a scapegoat, he rejoiced at once. Face instantly changed. Stood out, coldly staring at Nangong Chen. Nangong Chen, do you have anything you want to say yet? It's all the things that your guys people have broken into. If you don't give us the explanation we deserve, don't want to leave here. Humph. Looking at all these people surrounding themselves, Nangong Chen also knew that if he couldn't do these things right now, then, let alone trying to find Xu Feng's trouble by himself, even trying to leave would be a problem. Nangong Chen said with an ugly face, "I'll pay for all of these compensations. That's fine. As for making a move on His Highness, don't say you guys said you didn't. You." See, Nangong Chen at this time also tore his face to a moment. These people face ugly up. At that moment, he was going to cut the other party down here. Humph. Don't think of making a move, although my strength is not good, but my ability to save my life is one of the best. Nangong Chen sneered. You all want to make a move on me, yes or no? It was only at this moment that Xu Feng seemed to react and said coldly, "No way. Your Highness, your status is so honorable that we can't wait to flatter you. How could we dare to offend you?" Some family elders hurriedly came up and said, "These things can only be said underneath, not in the open." Humph. I hope so. Xu Feng was covered in anger and looked at them like an irritated brat. Seeing that these people were all under the appearance of a fake smile, without a trace of out of the ordinary, Xu Feng also felt a little boring, and at that moment said to Xiao Qian, "Let's go. We're done here." Xiao Qian came before Xu Feng and said, "Yes, Your Excellency." At that moment, the two of them went over and left after saying goodbye to the blood-refining demon. On the other side, Nangong Chen compensated his spirit crystals to these old guys with a face of flesh pain before he whispered with an ugly face, "Kid, this isn't over. Let's see how I deal with you then. Also, really didn't know that you actually dared to take a shot at Nangong Ming and decapitated him." He originally thought about what it would take to after letting Nangong Ling take a shot at him, but now there's a way out. Nangong Chen coldly smiled, and with a flash of his silhouette, he disappeared in place. Xiao Qian, how many spirit crystals and also spirit marrows were harvested this time? On the way, Xu Feng then hurriedly inquired. This thing was related to the progress of his cultivation, or he earned his own resources. How not to get him on board? My lord, there are a total of 123 forces here, and of those who have taken action against us, there are 68. 46 of them gave compensation in the form of spirit crystals, while the other few gave spirit marrow. So we now have a total of 460 spirit crystals and 22 spirit chalices, as well as 220,000 spirit stones. Coquette counted the harvest with a smile on her face. Not a bad haul. Able to let us cultivate to the back. Hearing this, Xu Feng did some quick calculations. You take out 160 spirit crystals from there and go cultivate. After Xu Feng took the spirit crystals over, he handed her another portion. That's not really appropriate, right? Besides, when I came out, the Demon Emperor also gave me cultivation resources. Xiao Qian waved her hand and refused. It's not like the Demon Emperor gave it to me. The other thing is that this thing can still have a part of your credit in it. If it weren't for you being there, those old guys really wouldn't necessarily have returned it to me. Chu Feng shook his head and directly shoved the thing into her hands. The other thing is, this thing also now cultivate to here also do not need so much. 300 already enough. Seeing that she couldn't refuse, Xiao Qian could only accept it helplessly. In his heart, he became even more affectionate and admiring towards Chu Feng. So where should we go now, my lord? Xiao Qian's heart was extremely sweet. These things were the first person to give her a gift. What's more, her mind was also on Chu Feng. Take a look in Yuzhou, where the western region is located. I heard that invaders have appeared there. Chu Feng pondered for a moment before speaking. This message he sent from Tang Shishir's side as soon as it came out. She told Chu Feng to stay away from there. But how could Chu Feng possibly put himself in a position where he didn't know anything? What about being protected by someone else? What intruder? Coquette asked, a little confused. She hadn't known much about what was occurring above the vault of heaven, although the movement was extremely large. But although we know that something happened, but did not learn the specific information to come. You'll know when you get over there. Chu Feng laughed and did not explain to her. Okay, Gongzi. Xiao Qian didn't say anything more and directly agreed. Returning market one sword. Chop. Suddenly, above the spirit boat where Chu Feng was, a huge sword light suddenly appeared to attack. It directly broke that spirit boat down the middle. Boo! The broken spirit boats, in the sky, directly exploded into two clouds of fireworks. Jianji, do you think the guy inside is dead? The holy maiden Abaqua's eyes were dead on the top. The spiritual energy in his hand was rapidly condensing, and once there was any movement from above, he would immediately strike. I don't know, Swordsmith said in a cold voice. However, even if they didn't die, but now that they're under our siege, they're definitely 10 deaths away. Spirit breaking 9 strikes. Chop. Looking at the spirit boat that exploded in midair, Sword Idiot no longer said anything more. His spirit sword danced at a rapid pace. Countless sword lights and sword-ons flashed crossly as they chopped down the sky. Indeed, even if they are not dead, now is the best chance to strike. In the sky, spiritual energy exploded apart, and divine thoughts couldn't be exerted under such frenzied conditions. So everyone on one side was alert to what was going on up there and didn't follow suit. Suddenly 2 sword lights appeared in the sky, directly blocking Sword Idiot's sword aura. The holy maiden of Aqua's face moved slightly as the spiritual energy in her hands furiously attacked the other party. Humph, to think that he hasn't died yet. He really is a tricky fellow. Let me end them this time. Take care of yourself, my lord. In midair, the two of them, Chu Feng and Xiao Qian, who were suddenly attacked, it reacted to the first sword stroke they cut out. They immediately mounted a defense that kept the first attack from hitting. Originally they wanted to fall down. In exposure, who knew that the other party didn't give them the slightest chance, brushing a few times and attacking fiercely again. As a last resort, Xiao Qian was only able to take the lead in exposing her figure and charging with them. What a shadow that won't go away. As Xiao Qian drew out her spirit sword and wrapped it around the 2 Transfiguration Mortal Realm cultivators, Chu Feng also flew out from inside the spirit boat. It was just that his face was extremely irritated at this moment. With a movement in his hand, a spirit sword also appeared in his hand. Kid, how about you just kill yourself and leave yourself with decency? 9 figures surrounded Chu Feng, and a figure that appeared to be the captain said with a teasing expression on his face, with you arrogant guys, if you want to take me down, go back and refine for another 10 years. Chu Feng drew out his spirit sword, and with the rapid movement of his mixed spirit power, a sword aura then chopped at the opponent. Humph, what a guy who refuses to drink until he is punished. Brothers, give it to me. Seeing that Chu Feng was so insensitive, these people no longer stayed their hand. They have been killing him. The 3-talented sword, 4-elephant sword, little 5-element sword, little 5 elements void sword, a 3-colored, with spring, summer, autumn, and winter mood, 5-colored, and mixed-colored sword awnings directly covered the entire space. It caused these people to have no way to strike directly at Chu Feng. It was only able to block these swords. Boss, the dots are solid. The 9 were only able to accompany Chu Feng's sword moves to fend them off, and each of them was able to rush to him, directly at him. After having been fighting for several minutes, one of them couldn't help but shout. The man who had just opened his mouth, with a stoic face and without a trace of a scrupulous look, said in a cold voice, the loss of spiritual energy from his violent moves like this is absolutely massive. At most, he'll only use a few moves. There's no way to sustain the output. We just have to hold off for a few minutes and then this guy will be unstoppable. Indeed, according to what they knew, this guy's strength had only recently broken through. Definitely.